You're hearing me well, okay? We are on channel 4. Let me first thank you for attending this NRI collaborative session. Today we will focus on our regional experience on the governance of emerging technology. Let me first introduce myself. I'm Ahmed Farag. I'm chair of the North African IGF. I am member as well in Arab MAG, as well as the African IGF MAG. Today, we will talk about the new and emerging technology which hold positive promises for the driving innovation, economic growth, and sociality advancement on the global scale. However, the benefits of the offered are not unfortunately distributed, with the developing countries often facing a barrier to accessing and efficiently utilizing this technology compared to their developed counterparts. This digital divide increases the existing inequality and hinders the ability of developing nations to fully participate in the digital economy and realize the potential benefits of technology progress. Through today's session, we will exchange our experience, our practice, with our different regional, sub-regional, national IGFs, and share together to focus on comparing the existing practice regarding ways emerging technology and govern and implementation of the society. This session are co-organized by about 40 NRI sessions. I will go through them. You hearing me well? Okay. I will go through them very fast before we introduce our panelists today. We are talking about APR IGF, Arab IGF, Bangladesh IGF, Benin IGF, Cameroon IGF, Caribbean IGF, China IGF, Colombia IGF, Czech IGF, Dominican Republic IGF, Ecuador IGF, Ethiopian IGF. I will move IGF. Okay. France, Ghana Youth, Hong Kong, USA, Iraq, Italy, Lebanon, Lesotho, Libya, Maldives, Mozambique, North African, Pakistan, Bureau, Portugal, South Africa, Spain, Iraq, Sudan, Tanzania, Gambia, Togo, Uganda, youth of the Colombia, youth of DRC, youth of LAC, IGF, and youth of Pakistan, IGF. Forgive me if I miss any initiative.
You missed Kurdistan.
Kurdistan IGF, the most important one. Sorry. Okay. Today we have our distinguished speakers. Let me start first with Ms. Renata Meli. She's the coordinator of the Internet Steering Committee in Brazil. Okay. Mr. Ilimani Latikla, Judge of the High Court of Tanzania. His Excellency Mr. Anu Jawahar, Minister of Transportation and Communication in Kurdistan Region, Iraq, and Ms. Lin Lin, Director of China Mobile Research Institute, Department of User and Market Research. Thank you, and thank you for participating us today. Also, I would like to thank our online moderator and rapporteurs, Ms. Carol Nudasi, Ms. Judith Hellerstein, Ms. Aliko Matula, Ms. Umit Bajaro. Let me start our first question to His Excellency, Mr. Anu. He will talk with us about what emerging digital technology are priorities for the Kurdistan region and how you can see the wide gap between developed and developing countries.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ahmed. Thank you for all of you. I think my Arabic and your Arabic is better than our English.
Yes.
But we are obliged to speak English today. First of all, I want to extend my gratitude to the leadership and the people of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for supporting and organizing such a world-class event. I'm thankful for their hospitality and dedication to build bridges with all nations worldwide. Also, I want to extend my gratitude to IGF Secretariat and to IGF Kurdistan region and Iraq, CAG Ramadan, and his dedicated staff for their efforts. Thank you very much. As Kurdistan region government, and especially after the declaration of KRG's digital transformation strategy and the vision for 2025 of His Excellency Prime Minister Masroor Barzani, which is a comprehensive strategy aimed to creating a digitally inclusive society. Through this initiative, we are focused on advancing technologies such as AI, blockchain, 4G, hopefully 5G, and IoT. A cornerstone of our work has been the development of high-speed infrastructure, including nationwide broadband expansion and the deployment of 4G and full preparation for 5G networks. This ensures that both urban and rural communities have equitable access to high-speed internet and digital opportunities. Our high-speed internet network of fiber optic cables has reached the villages, even the remote areas. The collaboration of the public sector with the private sector in Kurdistan region has created citizens. Our partnership as government with private sector companies reduced reliance upon government budget, and as I mentioned earlier, supported our private sector companies to be more efficient and successful. Our focus on emerging digital technologies aims to bridge gaps, enhance infrastructure, and foster sustainable development. And our key priorities include providing high-speed internet connectivity, which serves as a backbone for other digital innovations. Connectivity ensures progress in sectors like education, healthcare, commerce, and etc. E-government platforms, digitalizing public services and strategic priority is a strategic priority to enhance efficiency, transparency, and citizen engagement. Systems such as digital IDs, e-payment platforms, and service portals aim to streamline bureaucracies processes. Artificial intelligence and data analytic. AI is being prioritized for its potential to optimize urban planning, traffic management, and public safety. Harnessing big data will drive informed policy decisions and developed strategies, but we must confess that we are still in our very early stages. Cybersecurity and digital safety. Building robust cybersecurity infrastructure is essential to secure digital system and protect citizens and businesses from emerging threats. There is an excellent cooperation between private sector and public sector alongside the law enforcement agencies in this matter. Smart infrastructure and IoT, Internet of Things. Integrating IoT in transportation, logistics, and public utilities will facilitate smart urban management and reduce inefficiencies. Even this sector is brand new to Kurdistan and Iraq, but efforts are ongoing in this regard. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. And now we will go to Ms. Renata. She will talk with us about the how strategies can be implemented to ensure equal access and responsible governance of the new and emerging technology practically in the countries with limited resources and infrastructure.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation, for being here to discuss this important theme. I believe we are at a particularly challenging moment to discuss the governance of emerging technologies such as AI, quantum technologies, IoT, among others. My first point is that it would be a mistake to start building governance structures for each type of technology. Because if you want to be inclusive, if you want to be all the stakeholders having voice in the structures of the governance of all this kind of technology, if we fragmented this for each kind of technology, we are difficulting the participation and the incidence of all these stakeholders in this process. In this regard, we made significant progress at Net Mundial Plus 10 that occurred in Brazil, São Paulo, in April, by seeking to define a new framework for the scope of the governance, such as internet governance and digital policies and emergent technologies, why not? In practice, this is what we have been doing for years by including a variety of workshops and sessions that address these topics in the discussions of both here in the IGF and the regional forums. In Brazil, our regional forum, the Brazilian Internet Forum, are discussing this kind of new technologies in terms of governance and how to build safe, secure, and trustworthy new technologies for the good of people since, I don't know, since the beginning of our IGF, FIB, Forum da Internet. Well, in this regard, we also, the CGI.br, are investing knowledge and investments in terms of money in trying to address the gap in knowledge and innovation about AI. We have investing funds in 10 applied research centers for artificial intelligence. We already had 7 sessions discussing this topic at the last 2 editions of our Brazil National IGF. We also lead the discussions on the impacts of in regard to include these countries on the discussion about the necessity of diversity in multi-language systems of AI. In our CGI.br, we are also hosting the Brazilian Observatory of Artificial Intelligence, bring into the CGI this discussion on the development and employment and use of AI in Brazil. Besides other activities studying the impact of artificial intelligence on the web, led by CWeb, alongside other internet initiatives from NIC.br departments. We are also launching this year a new chamber of emerging technology, sovereignty and sustainability that have the role to promote multi-stakeholder discussions and analysis of public policies focused on the development of emerging technologies, applications, and innovation, emphasizing their impacts on digital sovereignty and autonomy, sustainability, and Brazil's economic development. We are proposing guidelines. We are going to propose guidelines, plans, and actions to encourage the development and adoption of local technology infrastructure and applications, as well as reducing dependence on foreign platforms and solutions. And facilitate debate on the environmental impact of emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, cloud computing, and IoT devices, and propose solutions to minimize energy and resource consumptions. For now, we are fostering partnership between academia, government, and the private sector to encourage research and development of emerging technologies and software hardware solutions. This approach aims to promote national technology production and strengthening Brazil's global competitiveness, and also collaboration with other countries in this regard. Monitor global and regional trends in the development of emerging technologies and their applications, identifying opportunities and risks for Brazil, and propose mitigation measures to safeguard the technological autonomy and environmental sustainability. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sharing your thoughtful thoughts and updates. And let me now move to Mr. Iliamani, uh, who is the High Court judge in Tanzania. And as a law expert, okay, let me ask you, how can laws and regulatory frameworks keep pace with the rapid evolution of the emerging technology such as AI, blockchain, and quantum computing?
Okay, thank you very much, facilitator. Like I was introduced, my name is Eliamani Laltaika. Apart from being a judge, I'm actually an academic. I teach at the Nelson Mandela African Institution of Science and Technology. That's what I was doing before Her Excellency President Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of our country, appointed me a judge. And many people now are forgetting that I was a teacher before. And in many capacities, I'm invited as a former professor. My intervention will center not only as a judge, but also as an academic. And I will give the interventions we are doing first from the academic point of view, and second from the legal point of view. First, we know that the way of getting these technologies as part of African development is to bring them to the young people through science. So Africa has invested heavily in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And the Nelson Mandela Foundation has assisted Africa to establish 4 centers of excellency in artificial intelligence in Canada. And there are 4 universities spread across Africa, in Nigeria, in Tanzania, in Ouagadougou, and in South Africa. And these are all named after Nelson Mandela, and they are pioneer, they are really cutting edge universities when it comes to research. So far, quickly, at Nelson Mandela African Institution of Science and Technology in Arusha, AI has been used in agriculture. Nowadays, it is very easy to predict the harvest. It is very easy to just get a leaf, put it on your phone, and know which kind of medicine you need or which kind of fertilizer is needed. Artificial intelligence has been used to improve health, access to health. Students at the Nelson Mandela in Arusha have developed a number of apps that assist women in detecting sicknesses and what time to reach to the hospital. Artificial intelligence has also been used to count wildlife and get the real number of problem animals. It has also been used to detect whether a lion is about to come to a village or not, and that has brought about safety. Now, legally, African Union has its own mandate after establishing in 2000 is an instrument establishing the African Union. The African Union has pioneered the enactment of laws that address emerging technologies. For example, the Malaba Convention was adopted by the African Union to protect data and personal data protection even before this was very common. At the moment, we are launching a center for artificial intelligence, like we heard yesterday from the United Nations Commission for Africa, that there are deliberate efforts to ensure that such technology goes down. How do we quickly enact a law to address and keep pace with the imaging technology. The formula is a PEST. Like the Honorable Minister from Kurdistan has said, connectivity is everything. If you get connectivity and your internet is okay, that is when you can now say you want blockchain, you want Internet of Things, you want. So first is connectivity. Now, our biggest tool is PPT, public-private partnership. And we can see that a lot of people are coming to assist us in getting a law that has been used in some country and customize it with our own, and it moves on. Another way that we use is first to sensitize the politicians. Like I said, the formula is PEST. P stands for political. If politicians are well educated, they know that this is blockchain. We need this blockchain in order to enable women to access finances. We want to empower women to use their cell phone to access bank services. They will agree to enact a law on that. E is economic. We must tell them that you have the power to generate more money through data than even agriculture. For example, in Tanzania now we have a law to sell spectrum, and we are putting spectrum or frequencies on the market, and people come and say, I need to buy frequency in order to run my radio or my television, and they pay the government more money than farmers. So we tell them that economically it is important. S is social. We tell that socially you can reduce women empowerment, crime against women. If you use these technologies, we will detect people who are oppressing women. And finally is technologically, that this technology does not replace people. We are very careful not to tell, the minister will tell you that they don't like technology that makes massive unemployment. Any politician doesn't want to hear that people will become unemployed. So we want to balance between employing people and adapting technologies.
And now we will go to Miss Lin. And let me ask you, Miss Lin, based on your experience as a user and market researcher, what mechanism can be established to facilitate knowledge exchange and capacity building initiatives between developed and developing countries? The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. I think one way is to set up a joint library, just like AI joint library to bridging the AI divide. There are mainly three aspects to consider when setting up the joint library. First, all the partners involved need to make clear their common goals. Such questions as, do we focus on the research and the breakthrough of specific technologies, or on promoting and improving the existing experience, and so on? Second, give full play to the unique advantage of each party. For example, leading technology enterprises can export technology and R&D capabilities, while local enterprises can make use for their market insight or advantages in labor costs. Third, set up a fair and reasonable cooperation with them, include their intellectual property correlation with them, and resource input and sharing with them, and results transformation, matching them, and so on, to guarantee the rights of all parties in the joint library. China Mobile had signed a deal with Indonesia's Senior Math Group to establish an AI joint library. The benefits of setting up joint libraries, for one thing, it can be speed up the spread and the transfer of technical knowledge a lot. Technically advanced countries have gained plenty of particular have gained can you hear? Have gained plenty of particular experience in computing power, data, and many other aspects. With joint libraries, this experience can be passed on to less advantaged countries in a more direct and efficient way. For another, it boosts international scientific research, collaboration, and innovation. Joint libraries unite force from all walks of life, such as research institutes and universities in different countries, breaking the boundaries of scientific research among countries. That's my answer. Thank you.
And now let me go back to Mr. Arno. And I would like to ask him about how can governments and private sectors and all stakeholders actually, okay, collaborate to ensure accountability and transparency in the governance of emerging technology. And appreciate it if we can keep our answer in 3 minutes. Thank you so much.
Of course, governance of emerging technologies requires a stakeholder approach involving government, private sector, actors, civil society, and international organizations. Collaboration should focus on one, developing inclusive policy framework. Governments must establish clear, inclusive regulatory framework that defines the ethical use of technologies. These frameworks should address privacy concerns, cybersecurity standards, and guidelines for emerging technologies like AI and blockchain. 2. Public-private partnerships, PPPs, as the honorable judge and the skillful academic stated. Kurdistan is a unique and positive example, as I mentioned earlier. The gap that is really is created is that governments in developing countries interfere in regulation, interfere in operation, interfere in the market, and that leads to the suffocation of the private sector. But here also Kurdistan is an exception. PPP policy is a priority. We have one living example. Noros Telecom and Fastlink are present here. They just informed me that they have breaks the record based on SEO factors, is the best operators for providing internet. And also they are working toward establishing a tier 4 data center, spans over 12,500 square meters. This is the policy of Kurdistan region and the policy of the Prime Minister Barzani for the collaboration between private sector and leveraging technology for transparency. Emerging technologies such as blockchain and AI-driven monitoring systems can improve transparency by reducing corruption, automating processes, and ensuring accurate tracking of public funds and services. 5. Multi-stakeholder dialogue, establishing forums for regular dialogue among governments, tech developers, civil society, and academia can ensure that all voices be heard. This dialogue should be prioritized, aligning innovation with ethical principles and sustainable development goals. In this, we depend on our young creative partners in Kurdistan, such as the IGF Kurdistan Group, Kag Ramadan, Tablo and Nasim Khan, Ahmed and Mateen, and their colleagues. Thank you.
So much, and let's go back to Miss Renata, and I will ask her about how are the new emerging technology can be governed in different regions, and what is the role of uh, regional and international organization, what is the role that they can play to assure a fair governance of this technology?
Thank you. Are you listening? Okay. Thank you very much. As I said before, I think we have to find a way, first of all, to connect all these spaces because we need to be more collaborative, to be more strengthening our regional IGFs in terms of how we can address, discuss, and achieve consensus about the core values that have be taken into account when we are talking about governance of emergent technologies. Of course, we need to have important focus on that data governance because all these technologies at the end of the day are using our data, and we have to build transparency, we have to build a trustworthy environment in the way that people can use this kind of new technologies, IoT, AI, and 5G and others, blockchain, in a safe, secure, and trustworthy way, because this is in the center of the agenda. And I think government has a pivotal role in this regard because the governance is a space to build consensus and to deliver outcomes pointing the very important issues, but governments have the responsibility to transform these kind of recommendations into laws and regulation. So I think that's the role of the IGFs, regional IGFs, and the governance. Be a space to where everybody can stay together to talk about these things. Taking to the trying to achieve something that is in the best of the public interest.
Now I'll back to Mr. Elimani, okay, and I will ask him about how can the policy and decision maker make the balance between innovation of the regulation and laws, between technology progress and the end user safety. You know, there is always benefits and challenges and risks. How can we make this balance?
Thank you very much. First is to subscribe to international standards. No country is an island. So if we say ITU, International Telecommunication Union, has said this is the standard for radio receivers, we should all follow. That is how we can protect our consumers. Secondly, we very much need to train our people. I am so much pro-training. I don't know, if I were not a judge, I was probably going to be appointed a Minister of Education. No, I'm joking. But I believe so much in empowering, in taking young people to study engineering in Europe, in America, in Arab countries. Then come, they will build the next generation of our scientists. But also, coming to laws, we need laws to be there. For example, I want to talk about counterfeits. And counterfeits, if you don't have laws in your country, the market is growing. Someone will come and sell you very cheap things, but they are just dumping wastes, including hazardous wastes. You think someone is giving you computers for free for schools, but looking closely, these are hazardous waste which cannot be dumped in Europe. They pretend they are giving an NGO in your country, and then you bring them and they become hazard to the health of your people. So you need very strict laws, including international conventions to protect people. And for us in the court, we don't take things for jokes when it comes to protecting the health and the environment of the people. We want laws which are very strict. If they are not strict enough, I can borrow a judgment from Iraq, from Pakistan, from USA, which has explained a concept about human rights and the environment, and use it to make sure that my government also enacts laws. We should not use poverty as an excuse to raise the standards of safety of the consumer and our people. Thank you.
Now I will go back to Ms. Lin Lin, and I will ask her about how can we ensure the responsible and end-user-centric deployment of emerging technology, and what is the role of the end user in this process?
Okay, I think to answer this question, we have to know that to set up a user-centered deployment is a collapsible problem. First, it calls for the engagement of multiple stakeholders and the procession of consensus. At the same time, international organizations should play a leading role in involving different countries and stakeholders in the formulation of principles and standards, and establish a globally unified ethical principles and technical standard, covering such as key dimensions and fairness, transparency, security, and privacy protection. The second focus is on the construction of the democratic governance system. At the national level, it's significant to formulate and improve relevant policies, laws, and regulatory frameworks while maintaining flexibility. Additionally, a professional risk assessment mechanism should be built. Third, promote enterprises to take social responsibility. In the process of product design and development, enterprises should revolve around users' needs, expectations, and behaviors, and develop comprehensive policies to protect users' rights. These policies should include regulations on the legal use of user data, technical security, and product quality control. Furthermore, it's indispensable to strengthen the public feedback mechanism. Through various channels, we can timely collect users' opinions and suggestions on the application of emergency technologies and popularize basic knowledge, potential risks, and benefits of such technologies to users. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now I would like to go to the floor. This is the interactive part of the session, the fun part actually. The part that you are playing the most important thing, that you are sharing with us your experience, you are sharing with us your question for our distinguished panelists. So let me give you the floor. Okay, if you have any comment, any intervention, anything that you would like to share about your experience in your region, in your sub-region, in your national. Yes, please.
Hello, my name is Ali Miro. I am here as a representative of one of the leading telecom companies in our region, which is called Kurdistan region, northern of Iraq. We are providing one of the latest services of technology, which is the 4G Advanced. And as His Excellency Mr. Ano mentioned that we are now the leader of the telecom services in our region by SEO. We presume to continue for more. Maybe we can provide the newest technologies such as 5G in our region. Also, as His Excellency mentioned, we as an Euros Telecom has we are working on to produce a tier 4 data center, which is for the first time in Middle East. This data center is 12,500 square meter, which is one of the biggest in the area. And we can provide more services such as cloud to not only internal but international telecommunication or other companies which are in this field. And we're really proud of what we are doing at the moment. And as I said, we keep continuing for the best and providing the cutting edge technologies, of course, by using His Excellency's support and connecting our private sector to the public, which really helps and shows the way that our company wants to provide the services to the area. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing this information with us. Thank you very much. And now we will go to Mr. Qusay Shati. Mr. Qusay is the first MAG chair in the Arab region.
Qusay Shati from the Arab IGF community. First, let me commend you all on such activities and initiatives that we heard. We at the Arab IGF, if I would took from the start and where we reached right now, and let me take this opportunity to announce that we are going to have our next meeting in Amman, Jordan, between the 23rd and 26th of February. This is where the next Arab IGF will convene, hopefully. If we saw the nature of our activity, it's a mix between capacity building, taking initiatives, facilitating policy making, and really bringing the community as all stakeholders together. As good as it looks, it's a diverse role for the NRIs or for the regional IGFs, between capacity building, taking initiatives, policy making, or let's say advocacy, or bringing the community together. From your experience and from how you saw your NRIs developed, where do you see, specifically talking about NRIs or regional IGFs rather than the global IGF, is it more into the facilitating policy making, or more into capacity building or taking initiative, or we need to focus on bringing the community or the stakeholders together? Where do you see we should more focus, or we should more put our effort in, rather than going into a diverse activity? It's just a hypothetical question too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I'll give a perspective from Tanzania. For us, we very much focus on capacity building, but recently we have started initiatives to bridge the gap between the poor and the not so poor, the rural and the urban, reaching the unreached by bringing connection. Our president of ISOC won an award, and also got projects to take internet to secondary schools in very, very rural areas. So we are not yet very good in policy influence. We are more capacity building and also projects that empower community at grassroots.
Thank you for the question. I think in Brazil, and I am talked a little bit about the regional, like IGF too, but in Brazil we are focusing in capacity building, but also in sharing perspectives and seeking for how to understand the different approaches of each sector regarding some specific and important topics like the regulation of artificial intelligence, for example. We are dealing with this in our IGF, regional IGF. Besides, we don't use our IGF to do policy making, but at the end of the day, all the discussions we have has an impact on policy making. Not only the regional IGF, but other initiatives we have in terms of we have a data protection seminar, for example. All the discussions we made for 15 years built a consensus in the community, private sector, government, civil society, and academia, that contribute to approve a data protection law in Brazil. So I think these two things walk together hand by hand. And regarding the regional IGF, the Latin America IGF, I think we are in this moment focusing more on capacity building. But I am certain that we are going to move for the next level briefly. Thank you.
اوكي استاذنا العزيز، احنا بهذا الموضوع اريد اجاوبك بس بجمله عربيه. لكل مقام مقال، ولكل حادث حديث، ولكل زمان دولة ورجال. احنا صراحة يعني we with our IGF in Iraq and in Kurdistan region and also the Middle East and Arabic IGF, we are also more focusing on capacity building and also for regulations. What they can do, as I mentioned, there are some difficulties in our countries, as not specifically to Kurdistan region, but to other parts of our country, about what's the rule, the main rule of government. Is regulation or operation? And as our partners mentioned, in our region, it's more government going toward regulation than operation, giving the private sector companies such as Nauros, Fastlink, Dell, 7net Layers, CERT, and other companies the opportunity to have their role in the internet, providing service for our people and the other implications. So yes, we need IGFs, regional and also national IGFs, and their role is very important. Thank you.
Now I'll give the floor for our colleagues from the internet online participation.
We got a couple of questions here. Oh, sorry. We have a couple of questions here. And this is it's Judith Hellstein, not Carol Nadosi. Okay. We have a couple of questions here. First, from EOP in Ethiopia, He was interested in finding out the strategy to advance 5G in Africa. And then also from Tahid, he was interested in finding out how do global geopolitical tensions impact the safeguarding of critical infrastructure beyond borders. And if we could add one more, which you could choose to also answer, is do you have any recommendations for local and regional IGFs to better follow the themes from policymakers?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I will address that from Ndosi on Africa. Like I said, we in Africa, our biggest tool is PPP, sorry. I'm always on PPT because I'm an academic and I prepare presentations. But really, we invite anyone who wants to invest, and I'm happy Kurdistan is here, the minister is here with investors. Is a wonderful picture. I think our ministers should learn from you that you are doing it practically. You can show that these are the guys who are doing it. And so that is one. We are inviting everybody. I want to be specific to my country. Last week, our president, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, made a small reshuffle to our cabinet. And she said specifically to the Minister of Communication that I'm reducing information or journalism issues in your ministry to allow you to focus on ICT. So it is a whole ministry on ICT. And the minister is here. I think you will see him around. He has been tasked by our president to explore every possible means to bring us cutting edge technology, be it G5 or blockchain or IoT, anything that will catapult us to be a part of the global economy. And I know the minister is a young lawyer, very energetic. If he comes and rub shoulders with a fellow minister here, I'm sure something may happen. We may probably be visited by my brother there to take us to G5. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Concerning 5G, and by the way, you have an open invitation to Kurdistan.
Yeah, thank you
all of you. Concerning 5G in Iraq and in Kurdistan region, we still have different perspectives. Kurdistan region government believes that the government must be more pro-regulation than operation. This is not the case with our partners in Baghdad. In Kurdistan region, we are ready for deployment of 5G technology since 2 years ago and until now. But unfortunately, we are banned from deploying 5G technology because of regulation from the federal government in Baghdad. Even this is not a constitutional decision. The constitution of Iraq as a federal country does not give the authority of this field only to the federal government. What is now known to us is that there's a federal decision by the federal government for creating the fourth company of telecommunication, and it will be run by the government, which is really 100% different from our perspective in Kurdistan region. In Kurdistan region, we empower to have a powerful, big private sector with powerful, small public sector that is regulating and supervising the private sector. So there are different perspectives. Still, we are negotiating that with our partners in Baghdad.
I'm sure this situation will be solved soon, inshallah.
Hello, hello. Yeah. Just about the questions that mentions the geopolitical tension, the world, and how can we, as internet governance, digital governance, and governance of emerging technologies, how we deal with this context. I think, first of all, we have to find a ways to build some recommendations and consensus regarding these aspects in this kind of space like IGF. That's maybe a starting point about how we build some common ground and framework to bring to our government and to multilateral spaces regarding the risks and the opportunities in terms of regulation and development and use of these technologies. And I think we have our own problems in our countries. each country has his particularities in terms of political, cultural, and social aspects, and we have to have the wisdom in how to use this common ground that we build together and to in the benefit of a good best practice and use of this kind of new technologies.
You hear me? Good. Thank you so much, everyone, for the excellent presentations. And I think it was a very good opportunity for everyone to share experiences. And we have been learning actually from other contexts. There will be a lot of lesson learned to incorporate into our system as well. I had one question to His Excellency Dr. Ano. Regarding the promoting accountability for the companies like Meta, TikTok, for example, that they usually run the platforms remotely because they have regional offices oversighting the operations in Iraq. And now, as per the latest data, the percentage of Iraqis having access to internet is 70%, with 65%, like around that number, using social media. And so there are a lot of issues with content moderation. There's a lot of issues with fact checking, and all those platforms somehow, especially for Kurdish language, and which is our region in Kurdistan region. I wanted to ask His Excellency how he's visioning the promotion of accountability in the future and engaging them in addition to the federal government to promote that in the future. Thank you.
Much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks to our colleagues at IGF Kurdistan and Iraq, our national IGF, Kag Ramadan and his colleagues, we had a very productive meeting with regional representatives of TikTok. And as they informed me, approximately 25 million users, active users in Iraq and in Kurdistan region. I asked them to visit Kurdistan region and to start negotiations with our law enforcement agencies and also with the ministry in order to address what the challenges that you mentioned. So of course it's important to speak, to have relations with the platforms of social media in order to protect the challenges, to protect our people, the privacy of our people, and also to address the challenges that's coming with the spread usage of social media. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now, okay.
Thanks. Okay, now, if it's possible, I want to ask a question from the different regions that are sitting there for the presentation. First of all, thanks for this great presentation. So my question is more about the internal relation between health and the real internet, let's say the 4G. Because now I'm not talking about the 5G because it's all around the world. So I believe that now it's been 10 years that 4G technology is officially working around the world. So we are, from our, let's say, country, we are facing some problems that some people thinking that this type of technologies, this type of frequencies are not good for their health. So I want to know that is this the same case in other regions, if it's possible, if one of them, if any of them has seen any of these situations in their region.
Thank you so much. Can you give us a region? Oh, for all different regions here.
Well, I think it's important to understand the 5G as a important infrastructure to make to have more quality in regards to access the digital applications and even the internet and connecting all these devices. And I think it's central, and we have to understand the role of, because in the Brazilian perspective, I need to say that we have a structure, a governance structure that we have an agency who deal with the infrastructure and telecom infrastructure, and we have another body to discuss what have been done in the surface of this infrastructure. So I think this is a very important thing, and thank you. But we are now we are developing this 5G and this technology, but in case of the internet governance, we don't deal with this a lot in Brazil.
Like you said, 4G is the current available resource, really. And for us, we only get to hear about 5G from investors and big companies, telecommunication companies. Otherwise, 4G is quiet enough for middle income companies, for academics, for everyone. So the war of attracting 5G, it does not affect most of Africa so much, because even 4G is not well spread. So we are waiting, but we are hoping that there will be equitable, there will be justice, the geopolitics will calm, so that this device or these facilities are deployed everywhere. It's becoming an essential facility. So every community from Kurdistan to Nyasaland to Botswana, everybody should be freely able to deploy 5G and continuum of development. That's what I wish that the international community starts looking at the internet as an essential facility for human development and not for some patches, because that will increase the gap between the poor and the rich. It will concentrate powers in one area. So I'm hoping that future IGFs will discuss this so that we can have equity.
As a government, we don't look to 5G as a luxury. We would look to it as a necessity. Our people, Kurdistan region people, deserve to have 5G internet for health, for transportation, and many other services to our countrymen in Kurdistan region. So what we think, after good consideration with the Ministry of Health, yes, it is safe to deploy 5G in Kurdistan because our people deserve to have 5G connectivity in Kurdistan. That's the legal and the official position of our ministry. Thank you.
Okay. In China, I think this is not a typical problem because we have provided 5G service more than 5 years to their customer. I think nobody concerned about the health of the 5G. So I don't think it's a typical problem. And this topic discussed in ITUD department is a topic. We have some research results to support their input to the ITUD department.
Mr. Ali, you need to get her contact information and get the reports, please.
Okay, we have more three questions. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Thank you, Ahmed. I'm Kosi. I'm a senior. I come from Benin. I come from Ministry of Economy and Finance in Benin. I'm also the chairperson of one NGO called Women Be Free. For me, when we talk about emerging technology, I don't know if it's normal to talk about 5G. 5G is hot. For me, it's old. We need to talk about 6G. 6G for me is the emerging technology, not 5. 6G is our emerging technology. We need it for precision. We need today to have our women being very freely for us. When I'm ski, I have some problem with my doctors or school or somewhere. In school, in hospital, in agriculture, I need precision in everything I need to do with technology. It's not normal to have agriculture like we are doing since 100 before now. It's not normal. We need today technology we have today for our women being today. It's not for tomorrow. It's for today. Please call our technology to be available for every person in developing country and developed country today, not for tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, this is more a comment, and it is about the question. My name is Lilian Chamorro. I work with LAC IGF, that is the IGF of Latin America. And I want to add something about the role of the IGFs in some countries. I agree with what you said about that it is also for capacity building and also for bringing community together, and that it has an impact in policymaking. Despite it, we are not creating policy there, but I think it has an impact. But I would add something that is just what we are speaking. Each country have a different view of the technology. We listen now. We are thinking in 4G, we are thinking in 5G, we are thinking in 6G. Yes, then I think the NRIs, the IGF in each country, in each region, have that capacity to take some technology and I said like make ground, like um, uh, to have that technology, but in our context, to define what is important for each country, what is what we want to discuss about that technology, how that technology is affecting our country. Then is, I think the NRIs in the countries and in the region are a kind of appropriation of that technology, because there is where we can the opportunity to discuss what is important for each space. Just that. Thank you.
Go to my friend Omar.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Omar Shura. I'm from the Libyan IGF. It's more a comment than a question, but the guy who is, concerned with this comment is Mr. Qusay Shatti. He was asking about the role of the NRIs and the benefit of having such platforms. In our point of view, the local, at least in Libya, the local IGF was a tool, not just for the capacity building or for the awareness campaigns regarding the emerging technologies, but it was the platform for making the multi-stakeholders aware of the policy process. So we lack a lot of policies to regulate our internet ecosystem in the country. So we had to have this platform to make the policy process more easier and more convenient to the stakeholders. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Omar, for your intervention. And I will go to now my friend Wisdom.
Thank you very much. My name is Wisdom Donko. I'm the Executive Director for Africa Open Data and Internet Research Foundation, and also the Chairperson for ICANN Non-Commercial Users NCUC. Yes, we are talking about emerging technologies, and I just want to talk about the context of Africa. Yes, a number of things have happened in our continent. Looking at way back where we started from, or let me just say, just from 2011 up to now, there has been a lot of improvement. We need to do more. And then IGF have contributed a lot within the continent of Africa. Now, we know how technology is growing very fast. And then we also have to, one way adapt to that changes. So to adapt to that changes, the first thing that we need to be doing is to look at our educational sector. That is where I think transformation should begin from. The next generations that are coming are all coming from the educational sector. We need to have a kind of programs, or let me say syllabus updates, that when students are coming out from the universities or schools and then are feeding into the workforce, then that transfer of knowledge is there. So when they get into that workforce, the changes that we are looking for will happen. Now, the other side of it is the regulations and all of that. Now we have emerging technologies coming. Governments in our part of the world are quick to formulate rules and regulations and all of that. And also, sometimes they tend to forget about the innovation part of that technology that is coming. So we should also look at that. We are not saying government should not regulate. Government can just look at that particular technology that is coming, look at it carefully and see which part of that needs to be regulated. If you take AI, for example, privacy concerns is one. We all know we have our cultural concerns and all of that. So those are the areas government can look at. Now, things of national security, those are the areas that government can look at and then begin to think, okay, let's regulate. And then those aspects that need to go to the community should go to the community to promote innovation and all of that.
Thank you so much. And now we will take Dr. Hussein Badran, our last.
Thank you so much. My name is Hussein Badran. I'm a member of the Canadian IGF, but also a long-time member of the Arab IGF. From a Canadian perspective, we have, and this could also be something to get an input from the panel on. We have seen the IGF community quite interested in having a say in policy or proposed policies that the federal government intends to put together. For example, regarding AI governance, there is already governance structure in place, but how will this impact the internet, how this can be deployed, what are the ramifications, is something that we have been discussing with experts in Canadian IGF meetings for the last 2.5 years. The recent framework on online harms, which is an area to try to regulate and minimize effect on content on social media, on online in general, regarding child abuse, terrorism, pornography, and so on. There's a regulation being proposed in Parliament, so Canadian IGF is a platform where experts convene, and we invite parliamentarians, we invite, in some cases, ministers to come and have an open conversation. Youth IGF in Canada recently also invited the Minister of Justice to come, and he's a champion of the online harms bill, to come and discuss the details and how we can collaborate in perhaps getting the concerns from civil society, from academia, from the private sector addressed. This kind of forum, is this something that is acceptable, or this can be promoted for the communities in the respective countries? This would be a question. Thank you.
Next session.
Yes, I will leave now. Okay, now we will give the floor in 30 seconds. 30 seconds?
30 seconds.
Yes, for each one. Okay? The key words of the emerging technology governance.
I will give you my 30 seconds. So you have 1 minute.
I'm very glad to share and learn more from the session. I hope to more coordination in this IGF. Thank you.
Let's work together, and welcome to Dar es Salaam for Africa AGF next year.
I appreciate what Lillian brings. Exactly, I completely agree. And the Canadian, yes, the IGF, the regional IGFs needs to be all these things together, but fits on the each country reality, each region reality. That's the wisdom we have to share with each other. There is no model. I think that's the message. There is guidelines, but there is no model that fits all. That's it. Thank you.
To sum up, the magical word is collaboration and mutual understanding, and it must always be a win-win situation.
Thank you so much. Yes, indeed, I think the collaboration between all the stakeholders, okay, is the key word, and keep the dialogue channels between all stakeholders. It will be the only exit door for any situation that we are facing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for attending. Can we take a photo for the panel, please?